Hey everyone, Hybrid here with a super quick reminder before the video that I am running my This Is The Way giveaway. I've got a bunch of fun Mando and Grogu related products, including a first edition AT-AT driver, and it is running until the evening of Friday, June 5th, so you have about 10 days to get in on it. Go check out the video in the comments below, and all you have to do is leave a comment on that to enter. Remember, it's only open to US people right now because I am covering shipping. It is free, and international is just too high right now. But go check that video out for all the information on it, and if you'd like to enter, give it a comment. Anyways, let's get into the video. Thanks again.
Hello there.
Welcome back, my friend.
Hello, what have we here?
Jedi, we've been expecting you.
Knew I could count on you.
Hello.
Welcome to the rebellion.
What fun!
Hey everyone, Hybrid here, and today I want to take a look at one of the most impressive pieces of merch that we have for the Mandalorian and Grogu so far. Today I want to show off the Imperial AT-AT popcorn bucket. I picked this up at the Regal Theater in Erie, Pennsylvania on my opening night showing. What a great time. You may have seen me there in the little reel video posted by 1313 Jackson of the 1313 podcast. I got together with some friends and we saw an opening night showing, and I had such a blast. I was on the fence about whether I was going to buy this thing or not, but when I got to the theater and I just locked eyes on this impressive creature, I knew it had to go home with me. It is an absolute beast of a toy. It is probably a little bit smaller. I never had any of the 375s, but I'm going to say it's probably smaller than any of the 375s, including the Kenner. But it is not small by any stretch. It's significantly larger than things like the Micro Galaxy one, which is a fairly impressive creature all on its own. It's probably rocking between 14 and 16 inches tall, and probably just as much long from the tip of barrel to the back of the butt. The Mando climbing the side is a little bit out of scale. He's almost a 375 figure all on his own. He might not be 375, he might be more like 3 1/4 or something. He's really close to that like vintage collection scale. He has some excellent detail on him, but the walker itself is of course the eye-catching thing here. It is cast in a gray plastic and features some subtle weathering all over it, and it just looks super duper good. Now, because it seems like I'm diving right into the review here, and I'm not just like showing the packaging, I guess I can show you the packaging. It's not very impressive. It comes in this big plastic bag with a bunch of legal stuff on it. So it's not the most impressive packaging. And actually, to laugh at it a little bit, I need some directions as well. Some of the main elements are the 3D container and the slot for the AAA batteries, and instructions for use. To use the container, locate the lid on top of container body and open it. It's giving very much SpongeBob and the Jar vibes, if you will, from way back in the early days. So, not a lot to be explained on this other than it's a big, fully functional AT-AT toy, if you will. There were some articulations that I was shocked it had. There were some articulations I was shocked it didn't have, but it still has some great shelf presence, all in all. One of the articulations that I was shocked it didn't have is the head. There is no movement whatsoever on the head, on none of the guns or anything. When you start getting into the guns, I was like, it's a popcorn bucket. It's not like a Hasbro toy. It's probably not going to have any articulations. But when you look at the body, actually every leg pivots at the top of the leg and at the knee and then down at the ankle as well. This, like where the top of the leg connects to the body there, I don't think it's really supposed to articulate. It has a little bit of wobble in it, but it's not a true point of articulation, if you will. There are a few different poses you can get them in where all 4 of the feet are touching the ground. Here is, of course, one of them, and that's just generally how I'm going to have it. It's going to be standing probably on top of the Detolfs by the time everything's all said and done. But just look at that, like, salt, weathering on it. So some of the the best way I can describe it, right, is I live in Ohio. I'm in the Midwest, and in the winter months, they put a lot of salt on the road. And when the roads get wet after they've been salted and that saltwater spray gets on your cars, not only does it make them rust, but before it does that, your car kind of has like a white haze all over it. And that's a very similar paint feature that they have done all over this walker. It is in a gray plastic color, and then they have added this haze all over it. So I don't know what that snow planet in the beginning was. Didn't really look like Hoth, at least the Hoth that we were on didn't have mountain ranges. So whether this planet, had a lot of like saltwater oceans or whatever, not that the salt would get into the snow, but I guess I don't know, it's a fantasy planet, maybe it can, I don't know. But spinning it around, just has a very nice, snowy, weathered effect going all the way around it. You only get Mando climbing it on one side. On the other side, it's nice and subtle. You get a Mandalorian and Grogu little logo, says only in theaters, and which I've never gotten that marketing, right? Only in theaters this Friday, like on trailers for movies that have always come out on VHS and DVD and Blu-ray and stuff. It's like, obviously they're not only in theaters. I've never gotten that particular tagline, or why no one really calls that tagline out, but only in theaters right now, but like, I guess that's a little less impressive. But spinning it all the way around, I need to show you the feature, because it does have a feature. So 2 features, really. This little round button right here, once you put the batteries in, there's some speaker holes behind it. It gives it a blast effect. Take a look at these red tips here. I really like that with all the lighting on. It's not as notable. Let me go ahead and kill some lighting. The ring light ought to do it. They are not super bright LED lights, and I believe the LEDs are truly back a little bit, and it's running down a red tube in there, like a little fiber optic-y effect. But it is a blast effect sound. Poo, poo, poo. It, lights up the one side, the other side, and then both on the third. And that's a really, really cool feature. I like that they included that. It was for the best that the batteries are not installed in the theater, because I can only imagine being in a theater with a bunch of kids, and some of them, got the parents that will spring for this kind of popcorn bucket for them, and the entire movie, poo, 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 like running from all the different rows. A part of me would be like, oh, they're having fun, it's all right. But then another part of me would be like, shut up, we're in the movies, right? So I think I'm completely fine with the batteries not being included in the theater. I don't know what I'm knocking out of the inside of it, but looking at the ship, or the vehicle, the walker, it is just a very impressive, very eye-catching, interesting piece of display to show off the functionality of it as a popcorn bucket. This is one of the more ridiculous ones, I will admit, but you open it up like so, and there's no fine details inside. There's no interior. It is just the hollow mold of the box of the body, and the lid snaps shut like so, and it snaps shut fairly securely. And I'm gonna be honest, my popcorn did not go in there. When I was buying it, I was like, I will pay extra for you to not put the popcorn in my AT-AT. Can we put it in the plastic bag the AT-AT comes in? And they're like, no, we've been putting it just in paper popcorn bags for everyone. Don't worry about that. Because gosh, what a horrible thing to try to clean. And then with the electronics, like, you're not putting that in the dishwasher. Truthfully, the world of these collectible popcorn buckets is getting a little ridiculous. To where this isn't a popcorn bucket. This is a toy, and I'm completely fine with that. And I'm glad to have this toy. It's just very, very cool. I was the only one in my friend group to pick it up at the theater. 1313 podcast guys went to the theater a few days before and bought one. I gambled and waited till the day of the showing to see what they would have. So that was my personal choice to make there. And I don't have any regrets because I got it. But yeah, this was just a really, really cool thing to have that night of and walk around and it was such a fun night going and seeing that movie in theaters with such a good group of guys. And I will cherish that memory fondly forever. And I think that's how Star Wars should be. It should be about getting together and going somewhere and having some fun and making a memory. And that's exactly what this was. So, anyway, do I recommend the popcorn bucket? If you can still get it, absolutely. I meant to get this review done a little bit earlier on, but sometimes things just don't happen super fast. That's just the way of the world. But I am glad to have this in my collection. I think you'll be glad to have it in your collection as well. It has a little bit of a steep price point. They decided to have fun with it. They probably said it needed to be, $75, $80, and they're like, 80. That's correct. It's $80.80. But still a fun addition to the collection, one that I'm glad to have. And I recommend it if you can find one. So I'm going to go. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble about a popcorn bucket of all things. Don't forget to enter the This Is The Way giveaway that I plugged in the beginning of the video. All of that stuff will be drawn as one lot on Friday, the 5th of June, sometime in the evening. I haven't picked a definitive end of day time. It'll be in the evening. But that's really all I got to say. So I'm going to go work on something else now. Until next time, I hope you all go on and have a great day. May the Force be with you. This is The Way, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.